in Vince's mind, he was ready to move me on from being a talent into working backstage. For me, AEW made the most sense because like I could see that Vince and WWE, they already had it in their mind. Like in Vince's mind, he was ready to move me on from being a talent into working backstage, and being a producer, helping give back and teach other guys behind the scenes. And I'm very happy to do that. But a little later on, like these last few years that I have to do this physically, I want to do it to the highest level that I can. I want to enjoy it because the whole reason I got into pro wrestling in the first place was because I love the idea of performing and being a pro wrestler. So it's like, I don't want to give that up right now. And then even though they offered, to do other things after I expressed that was my concern, I know in my head, they'd already made up their mind how they see me as. So I just knew I needed to go somewhere else. And like AEW was like the best case scenario for me. I mean, because the Young Bucks, I'm great friends with those guys. And here there's just such a refreshing, creative liberty and also like a creative freedom where you have input and you really have a hand in the direction that your career goes in. So I've been enjoying this, and this is a great place. And on top of still being able to perform and still do what I want to do, in my last few years, I also still get to help back and help young talent as well.
Yeah, you were doing some like mentoring with Private Party, both on air and off air. So when you take someone like that under your wing, what kind of guidance do you give someone like that?
I mean, I think with Private Party, I very much gave them the same sort of guidance that like Michael Hayes did to myself and Jeff. And I think the first lesson those guys really need to work on, and I think that always going to be a work in progress for these first few years, is that they need to remember like they can do all these amazing, cool high spots and tag team maneuvers, but they have to let fans know, like, no, we are gritty athletes who can fight and we can scrap and we're tough. And that's kind of like what you have to show people. You have to show them you have that vicious streak or that mean streak, and you have to let them know that you can fight. The fan that is sitting in the front row, when there were fans that used to come to shows, the fans that are sitting in the front row, they have to like look in the ring and go like, this guy can do some really amazing flips and he's quite the gymnast, but I wouldn't want to get in a fight with him because I'm afraid to kick my ass. So that's the mindset, and that's kind of the thing I've been trying to implement and have Private Party work on.
2 years ago, you kind of broke your character. It sounded like you were making an announcement that you were retiring. Kind of. You didn't say those words exactly, but what was the plan behind that video? What was the idea there?
I don't know exactly what the reasons were, but Bray was being taken off TV and given some time off for whatever reasons they were. And because we were locked together as a tag team, I was also going to be taking some time off. And I had some issues that were bothering me, but they weren't career threatening or they weren't going to be major to shut me down. Just stuff I had to work through, as you do as you're an older athlete. So like I just kind of announced those, and I let that be my reasoning for leaving. And then once again, like once people thought I was going to retire, because like they are legitimate like nagging injuries that I have, stuff that I was going to deal with and address. I just feel like time to go home because I was going to be off for a couple of months. And then like, I just kind of, I never said the word retire one time. And then I just let people read that into it. And it's something that kind of kept people talking about me during that time off the TV.
Is retirement something that you think about now?
No, it's not something that I think about, but it's realistically something I know that's obviously coming. I mean, just because, something I say all the time, I'm not 25 anymore. My body feels different, and I'm very mentally aware of my physical state and kind of what I can do and what I can't do. So obviously, I have a few years, a little chunk of time left in front of me, not like a long piece like that is behind me. So I'm aware it's coming one of these days, and I'll be happy. I just want to try and accomplish as much as I can before I get to that point.
The broken Matt Hardy character might have been the best thing to come along at that stage in your career because you weren't forced to do some of the stuff that you had done earlier in your career.
Well, I mean, that's why the whole broken Matt Hardy character was created in the first place, because like thinking back and looking at the landscape of things, all these young guys that are, 25 to 35 that are in super top shape and super athletic and super healthy in so many ways and don't have like their body covered with scar tissue like mine is. when I was thinking about those characters, I said, what if I could do a throwback to the days of Papa Shango, the days of The Undertaker, try and create a character that's like somewhat magical, somewhat over the top. And that was the whole mindset. And also, I asked Jeff to do the whole Brother Nero thing and got him on board with that idea because I was literally trying to get Jeff to like slow down and conserve his body a little more because he's just like so passionate and he so much feels like every time he's in the ring, no, the fans want to see me do a swanton. They want to see a whisper in the wind. He feels so committed and so loyal to the audience. He wants to do that every time. But I'm like, you're Jeff Hardy. At this point, you can kind of pick and choose. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to beat your body up every single match. The fans are excited when they see Jeff Hardy. Come out and do the dance, do the juke, and get to the ring and do your thing, man. You're a star. You've kind of earned this over all the years of taking bumps and falling off ladders through tables and whatnot. So that was part of the whole mindset behind the original Broken Matt and Brother Nero. And it was very cool once we did that and Jeff was Brother Nero and I wouldn't let him jump off the top rope or anything else. Like he kind of dug it and got into it. And he was like into kind of more of a character mindset, which is very rare for him, very different for him. But he did enjoy it while we did it.